and welcome to another spooky episode of Happy Panda News. I'm Leo Matsuyama and I'll be your host on this terrifying evening.
And I'm his co-host, Mega Proto Conquest Man.
Now without further ado, let's get started. Hey Conquest Man, what category do you think we should start with this time?
I don't know, it's a real toss-up. Something spooky.
How about a spooky weather forecast?
Hold it! The weather isn't spooky at all. That's so boring!
Kuma?
No! Don't get me confused with that bear. We look nothing alike.
Sorry Sammy, I guess I got a little spooked.
Friend of yours?
Yeah, he was an old stuffed bear of mine. I don't know why he's here though.
I was sent here to make things interesting.
Sent by who?
That's none of your
But
business.
I'm your owner.
I think you should drop it, Leo. I don't think he's going to tell you.
Well, whatever then. Let's just continue with the weather.
Hold it! Didn't I say weather was boring?
Then what do you want to do?
This!
Hello, I'm the dragon.
And I'm the rabbit. I'm lying. We've got some amazing breaking news today that a mysterious body has been discovered in Happy Panda Station.
Excuse me, Lion, but that was supposed to be my line to report.
Gerard!
Let's take a good look at it. Let's go back to the guys at the station and see if they can figure out who done it.
Hey Leo, isn't that our mascot Hiroki?
Beats me. He looks different every time we see him.
It's investigation time! There's not much time, so you better get started!
I guess we should start by figuring out where Hiroki's body is.
Here's the case file.
It looks like it says his body was found in the Happy Panda Station. Okay then. Well, who found the body?
That would be me. Erlak Olmesh, consulting detective extraordinaire.
Why are you here?
I've recorded an anonymous tip by a certain Jimmy Jimmy-RT that there would be a murder tonight, so I came to investigate.
So, the file says Hiroki was murdered approximately 10 to 20 minutes ago.
I have an alibi.
Upon closer examination of the victim, we can tell that he was 20 years old, took plenty of walks in the sun, judging by the wrinkles on his face. The judge by the size of his buttocks, he had a very protective mother. Looking at his claws, scraping from his claws. He seemed to be a school teacher. Also had bamboo for breakfast, and he seemed to be very popular.
School teacher?
Yes, elementary my Leo.
But he's a panda!
There's no blood.
Naturally, he was poisoned.
Huh?
What?
Somebody poisoned the bamboo he had for breakfast.
I have an alibi.
I see. But what about... Leo, do you have an alibi?
Yeah, I was with him. That's why he has an alibi.
Okay then.
Now it's time for the class. Totally normal trial.
I suppose we should get everyone together.
Okay guys, we're here today to figure out who killed the Happy Panda mascot.
Objection! Why am I even here? I wasn't in this episode. And furthermore, shouldn't I be directing this event?
It's true that you should be directing, and that you weren't even in this episode. But it's because of that you're under suspicion.
Hold on. Why are we all standing in a circle?
Well, that's because...
Hold it! Leo, I told you not to make this episode too much like Dangan Nova. I was like, can I have more lines?
I'm trying to pull from other sources.
No, that's wrong. Are we arguing about the wrong thing here?
You're right. This is about who murdered Hiroki. And according to Kuma,
It's Sammy!
whoever murdered him is one of us.
Leo and I were both working at the time, so we both have alibis.
Let's see. That seems like a good place to start then. According to that tiny Rainbow Bears case file, the murder occurred about 2:20, about 10 or 20 minutes after we started broadcasting, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I was probably setting up my weather studio for today's report then.
Is there something off with her statement?
Are you trying to find a contradiction?
If you're confused, I'll repeat myself. I was setting up my weather studio at 2:20.
Hold it! There's a clear contradiction with that statement.
Is there something wrong with what I said?
Leo,
Why do I have to figure out what you're thinking?
Just do it.
I think what Jimmy is getting at is the fact that you didn't repeat the exact words you said before!
This isn't a video game, Leo. No one perfectly repeats their testimony word for word every time. I mean, shouldn't we be arguing about something a little more important? Like the fact that my clothes have changed?
But why am I the one losing health points?
I guess there was nothing wrong with that statement, but something is still bothering me. Wasn't there somewhere else you should have been prepping?
What are you talking about?
Care to explain, Leo?
Dude, why do you keep making me deduce your deductions?
Cuz.
I think what Jimmy's trying to say is that usually Dr. Watson preps the weather room. You should have been prepping the talk show room. Isn't that right?
That's exactly it!
You guys had a lot of caffeine this morning to get into. I already finished prepping the talk show room. Does that work?
Does that work? That sounds pretty dubious.
We're wasting time here. There's nothing wrong with her testimony.
No, that's wrong!
Dude, why did you shoot me?
Well, I just thought she wasn't where she was supposed to be.
Neither where she said she was nor where she should have been is anywhere near the murder area.
Crap! I did something stupid!
You and Mr. Conquest were at the crime scene. I'm pretty sure you would have known she'd been there too.
I forgot you were here.
Well, what about you, Mr. Director? Where were you?
Directing. And look, the only suspicious person here without an alibi is you, so listen, Mr. Detective, what are you doing in my studio?
Detective. Gee, I wasn't expecting to ask that.
You murdered Hiroki the Panda and are posing as a detective to ensure that you can hide it.
That's preposterous.
Is it? Let's just look at the facts. No one knows who you are or why you're here. You show up and people start dying. Coincidence?
Where's your proof? What you're saying is mere conjecture without hard evidence.
Take this. I found your forensics report unsatisfactory. The bear being a teacher is completely irrelevant to the case, so I did some investigating of my own.
When did you have time to do that? I never saw you around here.
So you admit you've never been away from the body since the time of death. Since you've been guarding the scene of the crime, anyone who would try to investigate the body would be given your useless rundown.
No!
You're the only one!
What?
Leo, I think it's true that Karlock is a killer, but this is hardly conclusive evidence.
You're right. Let's go over the events of the murder again to clear up any doubts.
At 2 o'clock, Jimmy and I were in the studio, prepping to start the show. We were busy and not paying much attention to the people working the set behind the scenes, but Hiroki, the director, and the killer were there as well. It was 2:10, time for Hiroki's lunch break. Everyone knows Hiroki loves bamboo at lunchtime. In fact, there's usually a cast member that prepares it for him. Today, the killer weeded their way into that position. All they had to do was inject their poison into the meal they'd prepared for Hiroki. The director was doing his job, directing Carl the cameraman, so his alibi is intact. Cherry was in the weather room, so she couldn't have been near the crime scene. Hiroki's poison took effect at 2:20 where he died to the killer's plan, leaving little evidence. Up to that point, everyone had been too busy to notice the killer's presence and Hiroki's death. When the news finally came out, the killer thought to create a false alibi by saying he was here as a detective. The only person who could possibly be the killer is you, Herlock Solmesh.
They're wrong. I have the upper hand. They can't be right. I'm right. I'm always right. I have the upper hand. Yes, they're wrong. I got this situation. I knew. I'll do this. I'll win. They're wrong. You're something fools. You're all fools. You're foolish. I have the upper hand. They'll never win. I can see everything. Where's your proof?
Guarding the body!
I can see. I reviewed the killer and I was...
You did that on purpose.
Oops.
Well, it's over now. You guys clean up. I'll see you tomorrow.
Where are you going?
Home? And don't waste too much power cleaning up. We only have a limited supply and it can get a little creepy here at night.
Fine, but at least we've got cherry-splice here to help. Well, looks like it's just you and me, Jimmy.
I have an alibi.
Well, I doubt things will get any worse.
Don't worry about it, Leo. What could possibly go wrong?
Look, the only suspicion is us, the Bob, who murdered Hiroki the Panda and are deposing as detectives.
You're right. I forgot my lines, so I need to read them again.
You are a fool.
Believe in yourself. Believe in the heart of the cards. You gotta believe!
The Great Chicken takes no prisoners.